Construction for the RMS Titanic was a 2-year process that began on March 31st, 1909. It was to be the jewel of the White Star Line fleet of ships, who had also built several other luxury ships. After construction, the truly magnificent ship stood 59 feet high from the level of the water, 92 feet wide, and 882.9 feet long. She was equipped with 2 reciprocating 4-cylinder triple expansion steam engines and 1 low-pressure Parsons turbine, which powered 3 propellers. There were 29 boilers fired by 159 coal-burning furnaces that made possible a top speed of 23 knots. Only 3 of the 4 62-feet funnels were functional. The 4th, which served only for ventilation purposes, was added to make the ship look more impressive. The ship could carry 3,547 passengers and crew. First-class passengers could enjoy unprecedented luxury for the time aboard the Titanic, including a gym, pool, Turkish bath, and tennis courts. The Titanic was the largest passenger liner ever built and was considered to be unsinkable. The RMS Titanic set sail from Southampton, England on April 10, 1912, and people were amazed by the magnificent ship. It was a masterpiece of its time in its size and opulence. The Titanic could hold a vast number of people, but the Titanic's full capacity of the passengers and crew it could hold wasn't even reached. Tragically, the majority of the Titanic's passengers, who were so excited to be aboard the historic voyage, met their fates in the icy water due to many flaws in the safety procedures for a ship of its size. What happened to the Titanic in the next 2 days would change the cruise industry forever. On April 14th through 15th, 1912, the so-thought unsinkable ship proved to be anything but. The mighty ship struck an iceberg during the night on Sunday, April 14, 1912. Within 2 hours and 40 minutes, the unsinkable ship lay at the bottom of the sea, taking 1,500 souls with her. The public and safety experts were amazed that the Titanic had been brought down. Only a little over 700 of the 2,224 passengers on board the Titanic at the time of its sinking survived. Out of the fallen passengers, 122 total died out of first class. 118 of the deceased first-class members were men and 4 were women. 0 of the fallen first-class passengers were children. Out of the second-class passengers, 154 men died, 13 women, and 0 children. At third class, 387 men died, 89 women, and 52 children. The largest group of people who perished, however, was the ship's crew, having a total of 817 people die. 659 of them were men, 106 of them were women, and 0 were children. For such a large ship, it would appear strange that required safety procedures could not save the lives of more passengers and crew members. While no doubt the sinking of the Titanic is a tragedy, let's look deeper into the reasons why more people were not saved from this plummeting vessel. One of the most celebrated features of the ship, its Titanic size, created many problems and safety hazards. For one, the Board of Trade had no safety regulations in place for a ship that size. The Titanic weighed a total of approximately 46,000 tons, and the Board of Trade's Merchant Shipping Act stopped calculating the number of lifeboats required for a ship at 10,000 tons. With that being said, The number of lifeboats required for a ship weighing 10,000 tons would be 16, a far too small number for a ship of the Titanic's magnitude. Other problems included crew members only lowering 2 of the 16 lifeboats to check safety. When testing the Titanic, they never drove it at its full speed. On top of not having an appropriate number of lifeboats, crew members did not have enough binoculars and searchlights, which in speculation sounds as if it could be the cause of not seeing the oncoming iceberg that would be the Titanic's downfall. After the events of the Titanic, people wanted to see changes to the cruise industry in order to save lives. In the aftermath of the Titanic, there was a demand in both the United States and Britain for an ice patrol that would ensure the safety of the North Atlantic shipping lanes. An international conference on the safety of life at sea met in London on November 12, 1913. This conference produced an agreement to establish a permanent ice patrol in areas deemed the most dangerous to shipping, signed on January 20th, 1914. However, the complaints and changes needed did not stop there. Changes were made to the number of lifeboats that would be required on ships. Lifeboat accommodation on passenger ships would be based on the projected number of passengers to be carried, rather than tonnage. Ships would also be required to have wireless equipment on board. No less than 4 crew members with knowledge of handling boats would be assigned to every lifeboat, and lifeboat drills for the crew would be conducted and noted in the ship's log a minimum of twice a month. Both crew and passengers would be assigned to lifeboats before the start of the voyage. The assignments would be allocated as to provide passengers the shortest route possible to a lifeboat, and both assignments and directions to the lifeboats would be posted in each stateroom. All of these regulations were put in place in the hopes of preventing another tragedy like this. While casualties were suffered, the sinking of the Titanic was beneficial in some ways. An event like this brought safety precautions in so that the cruise industry would be much safer.